For you guys. So actually, Chelsey, someone named Kazumi-chan would like to know. Kazumi-chan would like to know, how is your poetry book coming, and do we have more news about that?
I just need some more emo moments in my life. So if anyone wants to talk shit to me, emo.
Oh, emo. Okay.
Evil.
I just need some more emo moments in my life.
I love that question, and I've had it a few times this weekend. I love writing poetry. I have my entire life, and I know that sounds very like, oh God, poetry. But truly, I love it, and I get amazing feedback from the fans, and I appreciate everyone encouraging me to finish it. I feel like with writing, I go in and out, and I've been in and out stage. So.
I watched you write poetry as you rapped with Zach.
I am not rapping.
At Coachella.
The three of us did Coachella together. Can you imagine that?
God help us all.
Oh my God. I was just saying the other day, but these two is so sweet. We were saying with a couple of Zach's friends and Lindsay Morgan. And Lindsay and I woke up and these two had planned an Easter egg hunt for us.
We did. We woke up and
all
Zach was
around the house. We were doing Easter egg hunt.
Yeah.
Actually, Zach was barbecuing shirtless by the pool in the sweaty sun and flipping steaks, and I'm hunting for chocolate with Lindsay Morgan. And I was like, do I die?
Life doesn't get much better.
This is happening.
I think we'd all watch that show. Okay, so I'm going to start with you, Taz, since you're sitting here. And no offense to your other two friends, but you're also still on the show. I'm sorry. I love you. I know it's so fresh. I'm sorry, Chelsey. I'm sorry. But I know. The 100 is all about making. This is from @MayWeMeek. Wow, I need more of this copy. May We Geek Again, who is here. Joe does the podcast. The 100 is all about making tough choices, the effects of which can have huge ripples across the storylines of characters. Should we judge the morality of a decision or action based on the person's intent or the consequence of that decision?
Deep people. Super easy question, and I'll answer that with a yes.
I'll follow up with an I agree.
Oh my God, like the whole like morality, values, like making decision things. I mean, I think that's what makes the show so relevant and so interesting to watch, is that you get challenged when you like bought into, because like you kind of buy into a storyline or a character or like an idea that's flowing through the series, and then they'll turn it around on you, and then you're like, oh, uh-oh. And then like you have to decide what your position is about that idea that you bought into. And I think that's what's so brilliant about it, you know? But, you know, for me, I think it comes down to I think people have to kind of like buy into like the love. And like, as long as there's like a mission or a goal towards harmonizing through peace, like I generally, like that's, as Tasya, like that's what I believe in. So, like playing Echo on the 100 is like literally the opposite. So, that's something that she's learning. So it's just so interesting to like be going through her perspective on that. But yeah, I don't know if that even answered the question.
It totally did. Anything to add, Zach and Chelsey? No,
I agree.
Yes.
What as actors? S McDonald 85 would like to know, as actors, what types of scenes are the hardest for you to act out?
Heather?
Right.
The hardest.
I mean, I think, as an actor, the hardest thing generally to do is like, extremely like emotional scenes, like where and just how far you can go and kind of where the line's going to be.
Yeah.
In reality, that's kind of the toughest part of it. And I mean, it really just like, being vulnerable,
Totally.
It's kind of the toughest.
I find that the easiest. I'm like, oh hey, you want to see me inside out? Here you go. But what I find most difficult is Harper every once in a while, more often than not, would just have one line. It's like, how do you make this one line?
No, those are the hardest.
Casually fit into the scene, because you want to be like, here I am
You're like standing on the sidelines waiting to come in, and you're like,
here I go. Or we could
I agree. And even like, you're like, I agree. I agree. I agree. And you're like trying to like, and like, you're like, for some reason, you just, because you don't have a build up.
And then finally, when the camera's off you, it's someone else's take, you're like,
That's your best
you're like,
version.
damn it! So the most difficult for me is the one line in a scene, because most of our scenes, or a lot of them, at least have like 7 characters in a scene.
Totally, like when you get to build on an energy of your lines, you know, like you get, like when you're involved in the scene, you can find these nuances throughout it. But when you have one line, it just feels like you're like, hey!
Well, and also, and to add to that, it's also hard when you're speaking in another language that you don't speak. That's very difficult.
Yeah.
But it's actually, I think it's a little better when it's like, you know, it's not a language that like somebody speaks. When you're doing something, it's like actually a language that other people who are going to be watching speak full on, and they're going to know every mistake you made. That's even worse.
Do you remember that one scene we had where we were on the horses?
Oh, I will never forget. I will never forget that.
Tell us more. Tell us. Tell us. Tell us. So Zach and I are sitting on horses, and this is like one of those days at work where it's like, you know that this is the most expensive episode of like the whole season, because it's like there's 3 million extras, and there's 10 horses, and then they like drive a giant crane into like, and so like you have this camera that's like on, you know, and it comes and it like swoops down and it just kind of stares at you.
And you have to hit your mark with
you
the
know,
horse.
and then you're on the horse and you have to kind of like stay on time. The horse is fighting with you and you're trying to have this intense moment. And like, you're like, okay, this is super easy. There's 300 extras behind you and you're like,
well, and then on that day, I believe the assistant director also left set.
He did.
So we didn't have an assistant director.
He was-
Because he knew he wasn't getting along with the director or something.
Yeah.
So we had no assistant.
so he like walked off and then like so there was a lot of pressure on you, and it was raining so hard that day that they literally just kept us in the cast tent until the raining, because it was so loud that like it was like hitting the sound. They couldn't pick up our lines, our dialogue. So we just sat there waiting. It was like 4 a.m., 5 a.m., 6 a.m. And then we're like, okay, like the rain's lightened up a bit. So we get on our horses and like the cranes are out and everyone's like, here we go. And then like I can just feel this like swoop of the camera, and then it kind of closes up on me.
It's like
and then I look and it's like a trick, and I'm like,
She literally looked at me, and I could tell that like there was no memory of what like was supposed to happen in any way. Like it was like gone. Like it didn't like that.
And he gave me this look that was like, oh yeah? And I was like looking at him and I was like,
Meanwhile, it's like, you know, the shot's so long because you have all that build up to it, and it's like, and then they're just like, hey, can you do it this time and actually say the line? And I'm just like, because the camera was coming behind me so they couldn't see my face. So,
yeah, they couldn't see your face. Zach is just looking at me being like, I was like, you asshole.
So if you guys want to start lining up, there's a microphone.